Welcome to Endzoneblog.com's Power Podcast, and we're going to bring you a whole lot more NFL coverage and action. First on our podcast, we're going to talk about the San Francisco 49ers and them offering Kyle Shanahan the head coaching job. As most of you know, Kyle Shanahan has built up a great reputation around the league as an offensive-minded coach. He served as offensive coordinator for a few teams, including the Washington Redskins, Cleveland Browns. He also coached for the Houston Texans as well. Now with the Atlanta Falcons in an offensive coordinator role, and obviously, he has the Falcons playing at a very high level right now. He has some great pieces to work with there, with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and he got Alex Mack on offense now, over there from Cleveland to bolster that offensive line. So he used all these, key pieces to coordinate, the highest scoring offense in the NFL. And now the San Francisco 49ers are doing everything they can to court him into that opening, and they're hoping he'll be open to leading this football team. You have to figure Shanahan will take the job. I believe it is his first head coaching job if he does take it. And good things should come, from Kyle Shanahan. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. His dad was a Super Bowl winning coach, and I don't expect Kyle to be that much different. He's earned his reputation in the National Football League through hard work, dedication, commitment, all those things. So San Francisco should be getting a heck of a coach, but it also has to be noted that San Francisco can't hire Kyle Shanahan until the Atlanta Falcons season is over. So expect the 49ers gig to be open until then. And congratulations to Kyle Shanahan. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, choose Nathaniel Hackett over Chip Kelly. Look, it's tough what the NFL does to these, to players and coaches in this league. If you get a bad rap, it's like everybody in the industry of football, or the NFL, I should say, conforms against you. Tebow gets a bad rap, everybody conforms against him. And I hear people saying out there, "Oh, he can't throw." He struggles mechanically with his throws, but I don't think he deserved to have every opportunity yanked out from underneath him like that. And now fast forward to now, they're doing the same thing with Chip Kelly. He's been labeled a bad apple by the league, and now you see the Jaguars passing on him, and everybody is probably gonna pass on him and revoke those opportunities from him, and it's really not right. Chip Kelly is not a bad coach. Maybe philosophy-wise, it didn't transition great to the NFL, but he didn't really get a chance with the San Francisco 49ers. They pulled the plug on him extremely fast. The team regressed from Jim Tomsula to Chip Kelly, but that whole roster is a little bit depleted of talent, and maybe they pulled the plug too fast on Chip. I don't know, but regardless, he deserves another opportunity somewhere, and we really got to get past this mentality in the league that if as soon as a few teams label you a bad apple, you're bad for every team in the league, because your skills could still be service to someone, and we really got to move on from that mentality. Next up, we got hottest team in the NFL right now. Sometimes I think we overlook the New England Patriots because we just expect them to be good. They've just been good for so long, and they just set the bar so high that we just expect them to be good. And even when they have a year like they're having this year, we kind of overlook it because we take it for granted. They're just consistently that good, and it almost loses its luster a little bit. But make no doubt about it, the Patriots are hot. But there's one other team I really kind of think is scorching hot right now too, and that's the Atlanta Falcons, because we didn't think they would be a team that's in the final four teams left. And last week they took it to the Seattle Seahawks and shown that they were a league above the Seahawks, who were usually a team that could be in the final four. So by taking that next step and really getting to the elite category, you know the Seahawks are for real now, and you know they're a hot team because offensively they scored more points than everyone. You know, they had Kyle Shanahan calling offensive plays for them, and I mean, let's face it, you know, he's being courted for the San Francisco job because he's a phenomenal play caller. He's got the most out of Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu, and Matt Ryan, Freeman, and Coleman. So, you know, Atlanta Falcons are definitely a team that are very hot right now, you know, and easily could be in the Super Bowl facing whoever's in the AFC. Um, Another thing we're going to talk about, it might be a little early to talk about this, but, you know, it's got to be touched on. We're going to talk about free agents. There's some pretty big free agent names out there that, you know, jump out when you look at the free agent list. The first name on the list, obviously, Le'Veon Bell. Um, I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be letting him go, just because it would be extremely foolish if they let him go. I mean, he might be arguably that playing better than anybody right now. So to let him go would just be a bad move for the Steelers. So I don't see him leaving Pittsburgh. He said he wants to stay in Pittsburgh. Ultimately, you have to believe they'll strike a deal. But then again, you know, sometimes money talks, and maybe Le'Veon Bell holds out and wants to go to the highest bidder and wants to cash in on that big payday, and maybe a different team can give him that besides the Pittsburgh Steelers. Truthfully, I don't see him leaving Pittsburgh, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Eric Berry's on the list for big free agents. I can see him honestly taking a pay cut before he leaves Kansas City to play for someone else. So I really don't see Eric Berry leaving. Plus the culture they developed in Kansas City, it's like a loyalty culture. I could see a lot of those guys wanting to stay with Andy Reid. So like I said earlier, I could see Eric Berry taking a pay cut and staying with the Chiefs before he goes and plays football for someone else. Um, Kirk Cousins, you know, this is another guy you don't really see the Redskins letting go of him, just because who are you going to get at the moment that's better than Cousins? It would be a bad football decision to let Cousins walk. But then again, he wants that big contract, and maybe they're reluctant to give it to him. I don't think that would be a good idea to let Cousins walk. He was throwing for 300 yards a game in and game out all season long. It would be just better off for the Redskins to retain him and keep the good momentum they have going with Cousins at the helm. You also got Chandler Jones out there. That'd be a good addition to any defense. Alshon Jeffrey, you know, that's an interesting name. Who see if he skips town on Chicago, and you know, he would be a great addition to almost any offense. Um, we also have, you know, Jamie Collins. You know, if he doesn't sign with the Browns, Jason Pierre-Paul. You know, he'd be a great addition for any defense too. You know, a good 2 seasons you could get out of JPP, and he could bring it in your pass rush. Our next topic, I want to talk about fundamentals in the NFL, man. It's it's all bad right now. It's gone bad, and I'm gonna put a lot of this blame on these coaches. You know, first of all, a lot of these GMs, you know, aren't that good. I'm just gonna flat out say it. When you have Randy Moss getting traded for what I think a 5th round pick from Oakland to New England. And remember, Brett Favre got all mad because the Packers didn't trade for Randy Moss. That just goes to show what the GMs in the NFL are made of. Who wouldn't give a fifth round draft pick for Randy Moss? I would easily give up a third for him at any point, and probably higher. But a fifth, that's not even a question. You just pull the trigger right away and don't even think about it for Randy Moss. But let's get back to the coaches now. The coaching philosophies and fundamentals have regressed as well. I can't tell you how many times I've seen 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and teams pass the ball. I can't tell you how many times I've seen 1st and goal on the 1 yard line and teams pass the ball. 2nd and goal on the 1 yard line, teams pass the ball. And it's just ridiculous. If I was an NFL coach on 1st down, on 1st and goal, I would run the ball. 2nd down and 1st and goal, or 2nd down on the 1 yard line, I would run the ball. 3rd down on the 1 yard line, I would run the ball. 4th down on the 1 yard line, I would run the ball. All 4 downs, I would run the ball on the 1 yard line, flat out. It's fundamentals, and that's something that's evaporating from the game at an alarming rate, and it's just sad to see because the league's better than that, and these coaches should be better than that. And it's sad that I coach at the Pee Wee, the high school varsity, semi-pro level. I coach 2 seasons a year, semi-pro in the spring, high school in the fall, and I would never pass the ball on the 5 yard line on 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, 4th down. It doesn't matter. I would rarely, if ever, pass the ball. And you see these pro coaches doing it all the time. It's just it's an embarrassment to coaching. Other problems I have with coaching, it's just bad. Like I even seen Belichick a few times kick the ball in overtime. Who kicks the ball in overtime? And Belichick's a great coach. I think one time he even still won the game. But still, I don't care the conditions. I don't care the wind. I would never in any lifetime kick the ball in overtime. And I'm a Lions fan. I grew up in Detroit. I'm a Lions fan. I think it was Marty Morningwig. He kicked the ball in overtime when we won the coin toss. I believe we were playing the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears came right downfield, scored. Lions lost the game. I think it was Marty Morningweg. He ended up being the big fool. But it's like I'm a little kid sitting here listening/watching this football game, and I'm thinking to myself, this is freaking crazy. I would never kick the ball in overtime, and we got pro coaches doing it. So, we had all these coaching vacancies going on, and they only look for people within the league, offense coordinators and things like that. And it's like most of these guys are garbage. Like, it's just unbelievable to me. Well, that's all we have for the Power Podcast. Check out Endzoneblog.com for more, content. And thank you for tuning in.